Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you're watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the following after party and this live stream. Now, here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, competition flying, sport flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into the Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That means smart men flying, by the way, the SMF. That's courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in, but just enjoy watching this on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. You can enter your questions or comments in the chat box over here, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. And I understand sometimes even I can't get a word in, so be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can do that during a live stream. So like I said, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if you find the Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos, Saturday at John's, the contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Subscribe, share the videos, comments also help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, I'm a member. I have the $4.99 come out of my own checking account, and I don't miss it, and I suspect you won't either. Plus, you'll be supporting your hobby. Hopefully, you're just as passionate and enjoy it just as much as I do. Now, if you don't want to do the subscription, you can go over here to the chat box, and below that there's a big dollar sign that's called the super chat, and you can donate any amount you want then, but you only can do that during a live stream. So like I said, if you happen to be tuning in and watching the replay, come back on a Monday or Friday night during the live show and make your donation then, and then come back and maybe watch the replay when it's more convenient. I want to let you also know that if you want to get in touch with me, because this is Sparky's YouTube channel, I'm only in here twice a week, Monday and Friday night. So if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. All the letters are there. And if you'll locate the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which Sparky shot of me flying Sparky's Junar XL, and I'll receive a notification because that's my channel, and I'll be able to respond to you quickly. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't say or do around your own children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm going to post now the link at Stunthangar Forum. Let me find this link here. Let me see. And the link is being posted right now. Great. So now I'm going to go to what I call the control panel, and let me see how the YouTube studio is performing. Hopefully it's doing well. And hopefully everybody had a good weekend. Hopefully you had a chance to work in your shop or If you had some nice weather where you live, hope you had a chance to go flying and try out some things, and maybe you can tell us all about it. Looks like Bob Hunt is coming in, or came in. Just a minute, Bob. I'll be right with you. Let me see here what's going on here. And let's see here. Looks like we have Jack Snavely in the chat box. He says, hello all again. And he has airplane stickers. Thank you very much, Jack, for coming in. I think I missed you in the last show. We have 16 concurrent viewers and 9 likes. Thank you very much. And hey, Bob, how are you doing? And let me do a little editing here, and we will be off and running. As Wendy used to say, we'll be cooking with gas. Let me see here. Let me fix that. And here we go. Let me save this. All right. So I got everything going on. Hey, Gary, thanks for coming in, Gary.
Yeah.
And looks like
Hi,
John
guys.
Miller's coming in. Hey, John, thanks for coming in. And Bob, thanks for coming in. Everybody, thank you for coming in. So what's going on? Anybody doing anything in the shop lately or went flying?
Building.
Building, that's right. Building the caprices, right?
Yeah, I guess that's the plural of caprice.
I thought it'd be
Dean Pappas insists that the plural of caprice is caprice.
Okay, well, that could be it too. Just like
I say I'm building one caprice, and while I'm at it, I'm building another one.
yes, you won't be wrong that way. Hey,
And
Mark,
you're
Gerber,
gonna put 2 pilots in each one, right, Bob?
At this point, I think I probably could. I got a lot of response. Thank you.
Oh, that's good. I saw the thread on Stunthangar. I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear that you got some response.
Well, I think you got to build a Caprice twin now, Bob.
You know, that's not a bad idea, actually.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Somebody did that, but he put too big of engines on it, I think.
The way things are going, I can accidentally build an airplane.
Yeah.
That is good. So, John, you making any progress on any of your 6 airplanes? I think it is. Is that right, John?
6? That's not even half of them. No, I haven't made any progress at all. I've been doing Santa Claus here for this part of the season.
That's right. That's right.
So I may be done until right before Christmas. So we'll see. Might slow down here now. Yeah, it's tough when you can only work 2 or 3 weeks out of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me welcome Stuart. Stuart, thank you for coming in, Stuart. How you doing?
Good.
All right. And Dennis Adamison says, like delivered. Thank you, Dennis. And says, join you and my big brother in a moment. All right.
All right.
Yes, that's great. And I see Jim Hoffman's avatar, so he'll be in here shortly. And it's like Sparky is joining us, but his there we go. Now his
There he
camera's
is.
working. Hey, Sparky, how you doing?
What's that nose from? Oh, that's okay. I know which one that is. That's a darn sexy looking nose, though.
That is. That is. Let me make that big so I can share everybody. Hey, Jim, thank you for coming in, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Yeah.
Howdy, howdy.
Oh, look at that nose. That is nice. You did a really good job, Sparky.
Thank you. I'm trying to figure out why I don't have, let's see here. Should be. Why am I now?
And it looks like Mark Wise is making his way in here.
Look at the line on his hatch. There.
I know. You mean a cow?
Yeah, the cow line.
Yeah, that is. It looks like a pin line, like a panel line.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's curved. I mean, it doesn't have sharp angles. It's curved.
Yeah, let me make him big again so people can see what we're talking about. Everybody, check out this cow line.
See that there?
That is a real nice fit. And we have Christina in the chat box. Well, welcome, Christina. She says, good evening. Christina, do you fly model airplanes? Let me know in the chat box. That'd be great.
That's pretty impressive, Sparky.
Mhm.
Well, we'll see when it's more clear this week.
Is that your your Concourse winner?
This is a new one.
A future one.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It really looks heavy to me.
That's funny.
I don't know that. I thought that might get
If it
Mr.
weighed
Storik's
three,
attention.
if
Yeah,
it weighed 3 ounces, he'd think it's heavy.
yeah, I know. I know. This one might even be in the double digits in weight, huh? So
I'm really impressed with the hinge line on that cowl though.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very nice.
Good job, Sparky.
again,
Yeah, that's
fabulous.
right.
What's that hole in the bottom of the cowling? No, not there.
the one just in front of that.
In the front of that. Keep going forward. Keep going. Yeah, what's that?
That's for the on-off switch, Bob.
Oh, okay. Clever place to put it.
That's where the electric plug goes.
It's funny. That is so funny. Well, welcome, Dennis Adamison. And you said your big brother's going to come too?
Well, my big brother's there in the corner. Was your first one in. That's all. My big brother, Bobby.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we've had an ongoing
My
thing
little
here.
brother Dennis.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, and Bob, you were the same age as Dave, right?
I'm 75.
All right, he's 72, I think. So you must be about the same age as Arch. Okay, but basically he was right up there with my older brothers. So
Yeah.
that's why he's a big brother.
Your
Oh,
brother
okay.
Dave was one of my favorite people in the whole world.
That's it. And you were his too. He said it was funny. They'd get on the phone talking. They talk for 2 hours and never say the word airplane.
Yeah.
So talked about guitars and rock stars and everything like that.
All
So
kinds of stuff.
Wow. That's, huh.
Uh-oh. Jim's putting on a show for us here. Oh, he still got clothes on. All right.
It's a pretty low bar.
I don't know, man. I thought maybe he was trying out for Chippendales or something.
So I
I'll
have
bring a
a,
whole handful of singles to VSC, Jim.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
so I have a response from Christina. She says, I'd asked her if she flew airplanes. She says, my grandpa did. Sorry, I just saw this on the main page on YouTube and clicked on it. Well, that's fantastic. Good news that it came up on your feed. That's what Sparky and I have been trying to accomplish is
Mhm.
have our shows be on the suggested recommended views. So that's great.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. What kind of planes did your grandpa fly? Or did you fly control line or did you do RC or both?
Or full scale.
Yeah. And then there's another person who's in the chat. His handle is Unhexable. And he says, hi, guys. Hi, Unhexable. Welcome. And then we have Howard. Howard Rush is in the house too. Thank you, Howard.
Hi.
I'm telling you, Mondays are on par with any Friday. I'm telling you, it is just amazing. Thank you very much for everyone's interest. So
We had a good time after we went to the
hang on, Sparky. Sparky, what are you trying to say, Sparky?
Anybody got one of these?
I did. You know, Sparky, I happened to watch one of your shows several months ago, and you was really excited and happy about that. So I went to Lowe's and bought one myself, and I enjoy it. I love that tool. That is a great saw, by the way.
Is that the pole saw?
You gonna make it a take apart?
These saws are great. I mean, I need to get another one.
Can't hear him.
Sparky, your mic must be too far away from you. You want to try it again?
Of these before quit making them.
We can barely hear you, Sparky. I don't know where your boom is, or
Hold on. Let me see here. What the heck is?
that's much better.
Yeah, it's going through my laptop for some reason.
No.
Hmm.
Speaker, Realtek audio. How about now?
Yeah, we hear
Yeah.
you now.
Loud and clear.
Now let's see here. We got microphone. Speaker Realtek. We want to do.
Hey, Walter. Walter's in the house, and Walter, you're muted, and that's okay.
What? It's okay if Walter stays muted? That's pretty
Well,
good.
sometimes his wife is watching TV or something like that. Am I right? I'm right? Yeah. See, I know. I
Yeah.
understand. You know,
How about
Rich.
now?
Yeah, we hear you
All right.
fine, Sparky.
Okay. Yeah, the stupid thing's acting weird.
No problem. No problem. So, Stuart, what do you got in your hand? I know it's a saw of some type.
Saw knife. Do you guys use coping saws at all?
I
Yeah.
use them once in a while. Oh yeah.
Sure.
With this kind of blade?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let me make you big, Stuart. Just a second.
This is, I didn't know if you guys used them or not. I just thought it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Blade.
You can
Yeah,
get those from
sometimes-
hacksaws too.
Yeah, this one's, it's 0.012 100 or thousandths of a inch.
12 thousandths?
The curve.
Yeah. I just didn't know if you guys used them, but
Sometimes it's just hard to cope.
yep.
And I should have saw that coming.
Leave it to Bob.
Saw that coming.
Yeah.
I used to use these at work.
I'm sorry. I'll be quiet again.
You can cut brass with them and everything. If you guys got them and got them this small, I just didn't know if you had the blades that fine.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you have no choice if you want to cut inside something.
Yeah,
You
they
know.
work for a lot of reasons.
I got a question for John Miller.
Oh, I didn't do it.
Yeah, not yet.
Go ahead, shoot, I'm listening.
If I scan a picture and send you a JPEG and give you the measurements, can you turn it into a DXF file for me? It's
Yeah.
2 little pieces, 2 inches long.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make control horns, but I need a DXF file to have the laser cutter cut these metal horns for me.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. I'll
Just,
send-
you got my address?
Well, if it's on Stunthangar, I do.
Okay. I don't know if I got my, I don't know. If it doesn't say Delta, that I'm in Delta, Utah, then you'll need my, because it might be on my old West Valley address.
Your
But I'm-
email address.
Oh,
Email.
my email address, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send you a JPEG via email, and then
Got
you
it.
can just make a DXF file. It's for horns is all. You
Yeah,
know, the flap horn and the control horn for sliders. And I'm gonna have a couple thousand of these blanks cut with laser.
okay, I got you.
He's feeling horny, I'd say.
Yeah,
Oh, Jesus, is this gonna be one of those nights?
I don't know that I can cope with that.
So Sparky, did you consider water jetting or as opposed to
You know,
laser
you might,
cutting?
you
Too
might
much
want to
waste.
talk to Brent Williams, because he has the parts for the fancher handles, those metal parts, those are water jetted.
Yeah, too much waste. We're gonna cut them out. We're gonna cut these blanks out of 4130 chromoly steel. And I mean, there's a big kerf with water jet. There's not much kerf with laser cutting.
That's
Right.
true.
Marky, that's a great idea.
I hope his
We're gonna all
laser's
need
strong
horns.
enough.
I
Go ahead,
got
Jim. You said it's a great idea. Then what happened?
We're gonna all need horns. It looks like it's more
Well-
difficult to get them today than it was a few years ago. So
Yeah,
that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take care of that. Gonna be drill rod, 1/8 and 3/32 drill rod. Silver soldered to 4130.
And then Walter, what were you saying, Walter? You and Jim are both stepping on each other's words.
I made a dry joke.
Sparky,
Go ahead. Don't worry
Sparky, you
about
said
it.
you're gonna silver solder them. Don't you mean silver braze?
Yeah, silver braze, whatever.
Right, it's a different thing.
Much better.
Yeah.
I'll show you the horn blanks here. Let me see if I can find them.
All right.
We can't see you.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
Hey,
seeing
can
his
I-
beautiful. You want to see
Right.
his beautiful plane, don't you, Walter? You want to see Sparky, or you want to see his beautiful
I
airplane?
can see his beautiful plane.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob Hunt,
Yo,
are you, do you, are
Make it
you
big,
still
Charles.
cutting? Are you still cutting foam wings?
Nice. Let's pull it up again.
that's
Oh, I
the,
like that.
that's the slider for the elevator horn.
Right.
And this is the control horn. Now,
Looks like Tom's stuff.
now I got big holes in them for, 1/8" ID but we can set them up. We'll do 2 of these, with a 16th hole. So we can, do 440s in there, tap them too. But I got these 2. Like I say, I'm going to have several thousand cut.
Yeah.
On the slot, what is the maximum length that you can make that horn?
The maximum length.
Yeah,
Let me see here. You really want to slow the controls down, huh? 1.125".
okay, that's better
At the,
than
at the push
most.
rod?
Yeah. From the center of the horn to the center of the push rod, 1.125" is the longest, and the shortest you can make it is 3/8.
Mm.
But there's a big, let me see if I can get a piece of paper to back on it so you can see what it looks like.
While he's doing that, Bob, are you still cutting foam wings?
not commercially anymore. No, I retired.
I got an RC kit. I need a replacement foam wing.
What do you need?
You remember the old Gemco kits?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got a P47 that
Those,
somehow something ate through
That
the
looks good,
foam.
Sparky.
well, I can do
Sorry,
a core.
Sparky.
I can't do covered wings anymore. Sheeting is getting very difficult to get.
I don't need it cheated.
Okay, well, send me the route, the tip, and the plan form.
Thank you. I
And
don't
any,
need it hollowed.
any spar inletting or anything else that you want in there, let me know.
Nothing.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay,
It's an easy one, Bob.
easy. Yeah, it is an easy
Yeah,
one.
well, yeah, let me see if I could show you what happened.
While he's doing that, Sparky, that looked pretty good. I like your horns.
the horns, yeah,
Yeah.
they should be good.
Yeah.
You can either use them with ball links or bushed. I like bushed. Ball links seize up and they're heavier than just a piece of wire.
Are you gonna order any blanks?
I'm gonna order a whole shitload of blanks.
I mean, without the holes,
I can, yeah.
something to consider.
Thank you, Bob.
So Christina said her dad flew remote control. My dad has some of them. Well, that's great, Christina. And then Tom Ramel says, like provided. Thank you, Tom. So we see what Sparky's been working on. Sparky, by the way, what's the name of that airplane you're building? I mean, not
Aegis.
building, but finishing.
Aegis.
Aegis. Okay.
Aegis. You can say it either way, Aegis or Aegis. And
That's
that's,
like the old radar.
no, that is the breastplate armor of Thor. Aegis.
Don't we have an Aegis radar?
Got AUG-9, but I don't know about Aegis.
Oh.
But what do you guys think of that little skunk I got from the Skunk Works? Or wait a minute. I don't know if you've seen this thing. This was a 4-color or 5-color mask. Let me do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to see I wanted to see what you're going to show. I know you're going to refer to that. Oh, that looks
Whoa.
nice.
Whoa.
That's painted on. That's not.
It's not a
That's
decal.
awesome.
It's not a decal, it's paint.
That looks great, Sparky. Wow.
It does. That's terrific.
That
Yeah,
looks like a platoon badge or something like that.
Yeah, it does that.
Well, I think it's a squadron badge from the Air Force. I just saw it on online and it said, I'm going to make that. And I had to figure out how to take a JPEG, which has about 10 million passes in it, and turn it into a SVG file. And I finally figured out how to do it, and so I made them. So there was
How did
5
you do
masks.
it?
Pardon me?
How did you do it?
In Inkscape.
Oh, okay.
They
I
got
guess that's program.
yeah. It's a free download. It's open source. And they got a spot in there that's to change a trace bitmap, and it changes it to an outline. So
Well, it definitely looks good. As I've said before, very impressed with the with the cowl mounting and how thin that line is, how tight and even it is. Curious of how you did that.
well, when I ink that up there, I can't ink that till I get to John's next weekend, the fuselage, because I have to lay it sideways. When I ink that, that'll turn into an ink line. So it'll look like part of the ink line.
Wow.
That is awesome. Hey, Mike Lonke, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. So you have that thing on both sides of the rudder?
Yeah.
Wow.
I noticed the little skunk.
Yeah, the little skunk is from Lockheed Skunk Works.
Kelly Johnson.
Yeah, Kelly Johnson. And that was hard to get off the web too. And it was hard to do because he's so small. All that little shit was picked out. Terrible.
Mhm.
Wow, that's excellent. Absolutely
Well,
excellent.
and your paint lines really blend well with the actual lines of the fuselage.
Yeah.
That is so excellent, man.
Nice.
This
Looks
is
good, Sparky.
this airplane here is the same numbers as my Junar, but it's not the same airplane because the cowl is different and the taper of the fuselage is different and the rudder shape is different. So it looks similar, but not exact.
Yeah. How's your airfoil?
It's the same airfoil that I'm using in the Junar.
Uh-huh.
It's actually a USA 1 airfoil, 11.5-inch cord, USA 1 airfoil, a 1/4-inch thicker at the spar.
Okay. So 1/8-inch added top and bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob cut the first wing for me on this, and then we modified it to do these. We cut another lost foam core so that we could do these inset pocket hinges.
Well, now I thought I saw worn truss ribs on that.
Yes, they're worn truss.
Oh, okay. So what you got is lost foam.
Yeah, it's a lost foam wing.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty decent method of building.
It's the best. So Hunt did something right.
Oh,
I love the
Beautiful.
font.
Hey, hold on a second. Hold that thought. Mary Ann, you want to come in here for a minute?
Yeah,
Love that font, Sparky, of the Aegis.
yeah.
That font is
Aegis.
beautiful. All right.
Yes.
Very nice.
Hey, welcome, Keith. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, I had a
Hi,
hard
Keith.
time finding you guys tonight.
Hey,
What-
Keith, the pilot head was too small. I'm gonna send it back.
Don't bother.
I'll send it back and I'll send you a check for the postage too.
No, don't bother. Well, I thought you had a skinny airplane.
Yeah, well, Jim saved the day for me.
Okay.
It was exactly what I needed.
So, Stuart, you want to show something to us?
Yeah, This is the twister, and I need to taper this, I think, don't I, to the back?
Yeah.
Yeah,
How far upwards do I start the taper back?
I wouldn't,
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
be
taper it,
afraid
I
to-
just shape it. If you taper it, you lose all the strength and your stabilizer will flutter.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I needed to or not.
I usually do about from an inch forward of the end of the airplane, and just kind of bring it in a little.
Just a little bit of a,
Yeah,
Yeah.
And just round it on top and round it on the bottom, and then a slight taper back to the rudder, you know, but I wouldn't take a whole lot of material off the back because you lose all your strength.
right, okay.
Ask Bob, what do you think, Bob? Am I right?
Yeah, and those, I'm not crazy about profiles because it's very difficult to keep them from twisting in the wind. So anything you can do to maintain that rigidity is probably going to be a good thing, as long as you're not getting too much tail weight in the airplane.
Yeah, okay. Alrighty, I'll kind of leave it then. I'll just round it off at the back a bit.
So that did you a
Yeah.
lot of good, right? You know.
Well, I didn't know because I wasn't sure if I should, for some reason, bring it like start tapering it here back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
The yeah, and even if the thing is ends up tail heavy because it's too fat, it's easier to trim out tail heavy than it is to
Put a
trim
bigger
out.
battery in it.
Yeah, you put a bigger battery in it, or a bigger motor. But it's pretty hard to trim out flexible fuselage. There's no happy outcomes there. So
So Stuart, did you fix the banana in it? I know at one time it wasn't, it was,
Yeah, I was gonna. You said, didn't you, Charles, though, that you put dope on one side to bring it back? Or
no, actually, what's his name? Back east, he actually flies real airplanes. I want to say Bob. I can't think of his
yeah,
last
Bob
name.
Sam
Zambelli.
Belly?
Yeah, Bob Zambelli. He had
Zambelli?
an article about how to take care of those warps, where he made this apparatus and he hung wrenches on it. I mean, big, like, Craftsman wrenches, and he just weighted it down. He wet it kind of, and then he just put weight on it and kept going back and forth till he straightened it out. And I did the same thing to my one of my planes had a little bit of a banana to it, and that's how I did it. Is what Bob Zambelli
So
had in
you
the
use
article.
water? Is it
Yeah,
water?
I wet the. I mean, it didn't saturate. Just kind of dampen the wood and heat like a hot towels, and then I had this apparatus, which is kind of like a Y kind of thing, and you hang it on the end of the fuselage, and you weight it, and you get it to go beyond the bend, and they let it dry, and then you just keep doing it until you get it straight.
Yeah.
And mine seemed to have stayed straight because once I put the stab in there and the rudder, it kind of helped. That doesn't look too bad for what I saw.
Oh, it's not. And I might just kind of bring it from about here back and just kind of touch it up.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. I don't know. There's just a hair of light coming through. So maybe I won't worry about it too much.
Up in that direction doesn't hurt you much.
right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like having a little rudder on it.
I thought of that too, but okay.
Well, that's good news. That's good. Hey, Carl, welcome. Thank you for coming in, Carl. Excellent. So has anybody done any flying or work in the shop they want to share?
It's snowing outside here.
Might fly tomorrow. Don't know yet.
I got some show and tell here. I got the
Oh, look at that. It's
one
of
of
your,
the two Caprices, the other one's downstairs in exactly the same shape. Let me get it over here.
yeah, wow, fantastic.
This is
Yeah, he picked it up like he needed two hands.
the canopy is just taped on right now. There's no
Okay, well, I like seeing the plane.
Is that where all the weight come in?
What's that?
Is that where all the weight came in? The tape?
Canopy?
You
gotta
picked
make
it up
that-
with two hands, so I made a joke. Look at him picking up with two hands.
Okay.
like it's
No,
so-
I missed that. I'm sorry. Yeah,
That's
so
all right.
so
Looks
this
like
one
you
here,
gotta move the headrest back a bit if you're gonna get two pilots in there.
what I'm going to do is I have a little ramp in here, a little plate that fits to the curve of the airfoil, and that's where the ESC is going to mount. So the air comes in here, goes over the battery, and goes right over the ESC and out.
That is awesome.
And then I have a
Cools
little
the
shelf.
ESC as well, right?
What's that?
To cool the ESC, that's the purpose?
Yeah, that's the most important thing, is cool the ESC. On the top of the airplane, I have a little shelf, a little drawer pull I can get to from inside the airplane that I put the sensor on, and I can slide it back and adjust it back and forth.
Nice.
That
So
is
right
awesome.
now, without the motor in, this one has a motor in right now, just, but without the motor, this weighs 17 and a half ounces right now.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah, well, that's without the flaps, and
Yeah.
everything, but still, it's going to be very. I'm thinking of, we're going to get an airplane all up with the battery on board about 43.
Wow.
Wow.
That'll be awesome.
What's the wingspan on that?
Yeah.
50, 52.
Very nice.
It is nice.
Yeah, Bob, I meant to help you out with something too. The other day we were talking about the plural of caprice, caprices or caprice.
Right.
Well, I was working at Ford. We always considered two caprices to be one LTD.
Gotcha.
All right. So, yeah.
Well, the reason I named it Caprice, remember I designed the original one back in 1967. I'll show you a picture here if you want to see it of the original one back in 67. But on the East Coast in those days, there was a guy named Eddie Elastic. You probably remember him.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And he had an airplane called the
Impala.
Impala. So I had to do him one better by doing a Caprice,
That's it.
Very nice. Hey, I just couldn't help but notice the hinge slots. How did you put those hinge slots in?
They're
Very careful.
built in. They're built in.
Very careful. What I do is, I'll explain it to you, how I do it. I mark where I want the hinges, and then I have a pretty good eye, and I make a pen line by hand on there, and near the center, and I make a nice slit with a number 11 blade. Then I take a number 27 saw blade and open it up just a little bit, and that allows me to put a piece of permagrit. I get you can get the permagrit plates. They go on their bars, their sanding bars. You can buy the plates separately. And I take a piece of permagrit that's just as wide as the hinge, and I stick in there, and then I take a dial vernier and I come down from the top of the surface to the piece of permagrit and get that measurement, and I turn it over and go to the bottom to the permagrit, and I use the permagrit to open the slot till I just get a light slide fit with the hinge that centers the hinge on the trailing edge of the wing or the stabilizer.
Wow. Nice.
That's
They
great.
It's very
beautiful.
time consuming, but you can get it within a thousandth of an inch.
They look like they were spot on.
Yeah, they're
All
pretty close.
straight and very nice.
Now that one,
How do you glue it in, Bob?
I used a canopy glue.
That's what a lot of people are doing.
The one thing you got to be careful of with canopy glue is you got to shake it up. You got to make sure you stir all the good stuff from the bottom into solution. If you don't, it's not going to stick. And the other thing about canopy glue is you got to put the hinges into the movable surface first. And what I have is these little monoject syringes, and you put the glue into that, and you can get it down into the slot, saturate the slot, put the hinge in. And again, you don't want it to be a press fit because it'll spread the balsa wood. You'll see it in the finish. But it's just a light slit, just enough that it's just a little tiny friction. So you get the hinge wetted with the glue, and then you pull it out. All the hinges get pulled out forward of the hinge line, and I bend the tabs over, and I stick it down against a leading edge first, against a flat piece of granite. And that buries all the hinge barrels at exactly the same depth in the slot, and puts the rotation point of the hinge on the rotation point of the horn. So there's no arcing. It's all hinging.
Would you be willing to do a how-to?
I'm sorry?
Would you be willing to do a how-to on the hinges? I mean, everybody has
What
their
I'll do
own-
is, I'll tell you what, I'll try to get my wife's at one point I had my wife's iPad where I could do it. I could do this down in the shop. And for some reason, I'm gonna have to talk to Sparky and get that set up again so I can do some how-tos. Yeah, when I get ready to put the hinges in, I'll do a how-to. So you put the hinges in the movable surface and let it dry overnight, let it cure. And then, of course, I oil the hinge pin too, so that the glue doesn't get in there, and I wipe off any excess before I leave it. And then the next day I come in and do the same thing, and I put them into the fixed surface, or, you know, the wing or the stabilizer.
You know, Bob,
47 years of modeling, I know how to put a hinge in, but I've only heard about people doing it with that canopy glue. So I use epoxy, and then when I do it, when I put it into
Whatever
the wing,
works for you. I don't like epoxy. That can get into the hinge and really lock them up if you're not careful.
Yeah,
Don't ask
you're
me how I
absolutely
know.
right. I've done that once before. And the thing is, I put it on the nose up when I do the wing. You know, when I put them in the wing, I put the epoxy in, push the hinge in, and then I stick the nose in the air
Yeah,
so that
well,
the epoxy won't drip into the wing.
right.
But, you
Whatever
know,
works
epoxy
is
will drip.
whatever works for you is what you should use. The one thing I like about that canopy glue, somebody told me about it, an RC guy told me about it, and I tried it, and I was kind of skeptical. I didn't think it was going to hold. So I made a little test piece. I made a piece with 2 hinges in it, put it all together, let it cure for 2 or 3 days, and I tried to pull it apart, and I broke the pin out of the barrel.
Oh, damn.
Wow, that's pretty compelling.
Yeah, so I have pretty good confidence that they're not going to break.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gene Martin told me about it, and I'm like, Gene, losing your head, you know?
Well,
Your
one thing
marble?
I do too is after I get the fixed surface of the movable surface onto the fixed surface, I go in there and I take a paper towel and water, and I wipe the hinge, and then I go up real close and I go, and I blow them out to make sure that, then I wipe off excess glue off the bottom. It takes me about 20 minutes to put on one surface and make sure everything is clean and the airplane's clean and nothing gets on the surface, you know.
And which
just-
hinges do you use, Bob? Do you use Dubro, Clet? What do you use?
I use the Great Plains Large.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to use World Engine hinges. I'm sure Dennis and some of the others might remember those. They were amazing hinges, but you can't get them anymore. I think IM, or not IM, Circus used to carry them. I think it was IM.
Wow.
I bought like 20 cards of them, and then all my buddies came over and stole
Yeah,
What a
I
good
bought
friend
1,000. Yeah, I had bought 1,000 Clet hinges, the real big ones.
them.
And what was his name? Bill Little found out that I was going to be selling them, and he bought half of them. I ran out of my 500 like that, you know.
Yeah.
He had the rest, but I just found a box.
Clet hinges. The pin was too loose in the barrel for me. It's a little too much play in the barrel. Those
I'm talking about the big ones, the
Great
quarter
Plains
scale.
ones are really nice.
I was talking about the big ones.
Okay.
Are you
But-
talking about the ones that are shaped kind of like a triangle?
Yeah, and they got like a little reverse sawtooth, so you
Yeah.
get glue in there, and it goes through the reverse sawtooth and the holes, and it's like little glue pins when it cures. There's no way it's going to come out.
All right,
They're
you guys.
white. They're white in
Phil Bailey's trying to say something. Let Phil in this conversation, please.
Got a question for Bob. Two questions. What kind of glue are you using? I heard somebody say canopy glue, but what kind of canopy glue? And what kind of oil do you use on the hinge? Because I've always used
Vaseline.
lip balm.
Okay, well, whatever works, it's okay.
Anything.
I either use Vaseline, you can just get and heat it and it goes down, or you can just take 3-in-1 little applicator or a little oiler. You get like one of the little model train oilers. And
Yeah, I've done that too.
you really get the stuff where you want it.
What's this glue you use though?
I'm using, there's 2 of them. There's an RC56, which
Yeah,
is what I
I've got that.
normally use. But I found some other stuff too. I forgot the name of it.
Is that Formula 500?
Formula 500, I think it is, yeah. But again, the main thing you got to remember, don't ask me how I know, is you got to stir all the goop up on the bottom of the the bottle. Otherwise, you're not going to get any adhesion.
Yeah, you gotta stir it up, that's for sure.
You
Yeah.
can probably attest to that because I will never use that stuff because I lost my one of my Thunderbolts for canopy glue on the flaps, and it flew off in the top of an hourglass, barrel rolled, and almost hit me.
Well, you didn't stir the stuff up enough because, like I said, I did a test piece and I actually broke the barrel apart with the pin, trying to pull it out of the surface. There was no way it was going to come out of the surface. It would have broke the wing in half to get it out.
Well, you guys absolutely must trust the pins that come with the hinges, because most time I use Dubro, but I go to hobby shop and get a piece of metal that fits in the hinge and fits in there just not snug, but not bouncing around loose.
Have you tried Have you tried the Great Plains hinges?
I don't know what they even look like. I haven't seen those.
You want me to go get one?
Yeah, go and get one.
You would,
And Jim, let Jim have a chance to say something.
If you would,
Jim
please.
Hoffman.
Yeah,
I do a pretty similar to what Bob Hunt described, but the last 3 or 4 airplanes, I've gone to the long hinge pin wire and separating surfaces. And once I did that, things like, you get some glue in the hinge and you're screwed, or you have a hinge that is not really glued in and you don't know it.
Yeah.
And so that removable surface, beside all the other advantages, lets you fix those potential problems.
Well, what I do, the hinge is 3/4 of an inch wide. I cut my pin an inch long, and I just bend the 90 in it. And then I take that 90 and I put that in the flap on the inboard side. I saw a guy who was so proud that he'd done what I'd done, but he put every one of them on the outboard side. I mean, it's pushed into the flap, so it's probably never going anywhere anyway. But just for the sake of centrifugal force, forcing it in rather than out, put it on the inboard side, and it just comes through the hinge and bends backwards and lays against the side of the hinge that goes up into the flap. Then
I
it's in
think
the
like
cutout
that.
in the flap where the hinge lays up in it, so it literally can't go anywhere unless the flap breaks. But the flap can't, the hinge breaks. But I have had a hinge break, so I have had the glue turn loose. So trying to be very, very weight conscious, got a little bit too loose a little bit too light on the glue. I use a monojack and epoxy, and I put a little bit of glue in it, and then I take a piece of wire, and I take the wire down in there and run it back and forth in the thing, in the slot, and then pull that back out. And if it looks like I can see a buildup, I wipe the pin off and do it again, because you don't need to see a lot. If you got glue in there that you can see, you got extra glue in there. Get rid of it, just enough to wet the surface, just cover the surface of the.
11 grams.
Is all you need.
Well, Bob is probably right. That Thunderbolt accident I had was in 2005 with that flap flipping off of there. But I don't remember whether I stirred it or not. But I'm the kind of guy that, I had a hard time going from spokes to mags on motorcycles when mags are so much better. So I know that epoxy works, so I just stick with what I know.
That's cool.
That's what I do too.
CA.
But I'm always willing to learn something new.
You use thin CA, John?
I do.
Wow, but the
Thin
CA
CA?
is in a similar material bottle.
Well, Norm Whittle taught me how to do it. And I have a thin piece of silk span or Dr. paper, the width of the
Okay.
flap, the hinge, and I put that down in there, and then I use that paper wax wicks it in.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that paper trick.
I've made a mistake and tried to pull them apart, and I did what Bob did, busted the hinge, pulling them apart.
Wow, that's
So
yeah.
they stick good, and the thing is that it goes so fast that Gordon taught me to use the door frame instead of to line up all those
Right. Right.
I'm gonna do a little demo of that right now if you want.
Yeah. Here we go. And then
So
after
this is what I put the glue in. It's a little thing called a monoject. You can get these online. It's a monoject 412. You can buy 50 of them for $30 or something. And you can put the glue, and they're washable, you know, and that it has a fine enough point to put the glue right down in the slot. And here's what the hinges look like. Let me get a,
Fire. There you go.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, yeah, great planes. I've seen those.
okay.
I got a squeaky pair on my son's plane.
Now, here's what I do. I put the glue in there, and I put the hinge in and get it saturated, and then I pull it out slightly. I get all of them pulled out slightly, just like this.
Right.
And I turn the hinges, all the barrels of the tangs, all one way. And then you take it up against a
Flat surface.
push
Right.
them down, and they all just go right in this. All the barrels line up perfectly.
Very nice. Excellent.
That part I do like you. Yeah.
Well,
I tried those hinges once, and I'll tell you what, they're squeaking like hell. I don't know.
I've never had
how.
one squeak.
Well, no, I'm just saying, I must have got glue on it. It must be a bent wire, because sometimes I make it, like you said, don't make it so that the wood swells.
Right.
And I guess I wasn't paying attention. It was my prototype for my profile gesture. Anyway, it was so hard, I couldn't get it in. And I kept trimming it a little bit with the number 11. And I'll be darned, I couldn't get it. Finally, I just said to hell with it, and I just jammed it in. Anyway, I might have bent the pin or something, because it squeaks like heck.
Huh. I've never had one squeak.
Hey, Bob, can
Yeah.
I ask you another favor, maybe? Because I didn't quite follow you earlier when you talked about the Permajet blade and the blade 27.
Yeah. I make a slit. You know, I'm pretty good eye for getting things pretty well centered, so it's pretty close.
Right.
And I make a slit with a number 11 blade knife.
Right.
You know, right down the center of the line.
Right. Okay.
And then I take a number 27 saw blade. It's about a 3-inch long saw blade.
Okay, I have seen that. I have that.
It's
Okay.
still thinner than the tang of the hinge. And I go in there and I open it up. I just take some material out, enough
Okay.
to let me put a piece of permagrit in there. The permagrit's very thin, and it's thinner than the tang of the hinge. And you stick that in, and then I take a dial vernier and I come down from the top surface to the surface of the permagrit, get that dimension. Then I turn it over and go from the bottom surface to the surface of the permagrit on the bottom. And then I keep adjusting with the permagrit, which is a sanding material. I turn it over or reverse it or whatever is required to move it in the direction I want. And I keep opening that slot until I get a perfectly centered slot that's big enough to accept the hinge without spreading the balsa wood.
Okay.
Where are you getting that permagrit from?
I got it from Bob Violet Models, and I guess they still handle it. It's made in England, apparently. I got it from Bob Violet Models. Actually, I did a big review for him. He sent me like $600 or $700 worth of the stuff. And I asked him when I was done, where do you want me to send it back? And he said, no, just keep it. So I got a lot of permagrit.
Yeah, you
I
do.
couldn't build without it. It's
You'll
amazing.
never run out of it.
What's that?
I say you'll never run out of it.
You never run out of it. Yeah, it works. It's so good. It works for so many things.
I
No,
would love to
that's
see that
fine.
permagrit thing you're talking about.
There's a lot of it on
I'm
Amazon.
not going to go way down to the shop. That's a hike.
Hold on,
All right, no
hold on.
problem.
Let
I
me
just-
see. Let me see if this is it. Hold on.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. But
Is that
they
it?
have. That's
a file.
Flat sanding tool. But that's too thick. They have the replacement plates for their sanding blocks, and you can get those, and they're very thin.
Replacement plates. Okay, I'll just look for that. I'll probably find that on Amazon or someplace maybe.
Yeah. You might try Bob Violet Models. I think they still carry it.
Glad
Replacement
to hear that.
plates.
I had a heck of a time finding a perfect good sander,
That was on Wix Aircraft that I found that.
Thank
Are
you,
you
Walter.
telling, are
Appreciate
you,
it.
hey, are you telling Wix that you're with Stunthanger? They give you a 10% discount.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Make sure that you tell those people that you're with Stunthanger. I think by now he's got the discount code worked in, but
Thank you.
Thank
And
you for that
we have another show and tell in waiting. Mark Gerber, if you're ready, Mark, I believe we're ready for what you're going to show us.
Okay, well, I was playing around today, and one of my pet peeves, or one of my things over the years, has been trying to figure out what color some of these old classic models are, because I like to paint whatever I build, like it was on the kit box, so I can remember, what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them, there's no color pictures exist, so you're kind of resort to detective work to try to figure out what the original plane, how it was painted. But now they've got this software that colorizes black and white images.
No way. Wow, that's pretty cool.
And you've probably seen colorized pictures on the web.
Sure.
And they look pretty good. I don't know exactly how all they do it. But I discovered that there's a colorized option in Photoshop, which I have. And so if I can share my screen here. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
orange.
So that's a typical example of Vico Renegade, which is a plane I always liked. I never knew what color it was. So I ran it through the software today, and here's what it gave me.
I see it as orange and red with white letters.
As soon as I can move to the next image, what's going on here?
Black checkerboard. That's fancy pants.
Yeah.
There you go.
Orange and black.
There we go. Here's after I colorized, used the colorized image in Photoshop.
That's how I envisioned it.
And
Wow.
it didn't fill it in, completely, but you see that orange right here? And there's, looks like a little dark blue down here. But anyway, it really triggered a thought, because there's been this image on eBay that I've seen a number of times. This one here. Does anybody know who built this airplane?
I'd almost guess it would be a Bob Mears or somebody like that.
They might have
Yeah,
had some
collection
inside
of them.
information on
Oh,
what
that was way before Bob Mears.
the
Coffee
original
Drago,
was.
maybe?
I remember flying against one at the 61 Eastern States Championships by the guy who just won the senior national champion with one that year, a white one, his name was Harry Schell. And he ate me alive with that thing.
Anyway,
Really?
I was flying a quicker.
I don't have any inside information on the Vico Renegade. I did track down things like Nopplers and T-Birds, but this colorized software opens some new possibilities.
Yeah, that's great.
That is interesting.
And then here's one I did. This thing keeps jumping too far. The Fancy Pants is another one that I never had any idea what color it really was. And I want to build one of these someday too. So I ran this through the software, and it wasn't as good, but it gave me some hints that this was blue. The dark fade was blue, and that the spinner was a red. So I helped it out a little bit. I used Photoshop to fill it in. And that's what you get when you key off of the colorized software. So it opens up some neat possibilities to try to figure out what color some of these early planes were, if you want to know.
Brings it along.
If you want a simple little airplane that'll really take you a long way learning to fly in the wind, that's it. Mike Garman whooped my tail with that thing so bad at East Coast Golden Oldies that I came home and built one. And it's an amazing little airplane. I had an Enya 35 in mine, the only Enya I ever had. I gave it to my daughter as a full plane. That's the one my daughter's boyfriend destroyed for us. But anyway, that was an amazing little airplane.
Oh, unless I get some other information when I build mine, I'm gonna make it blue and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks cool.
Very neat.
And what's the name of the software?
Well, there's a bunch of different ones around. There's freeware versions, I think. If you look for colorization software in Google, I think you'll find them.
Okay.
I use Photoshop, which isn't free.
Some free software that's really powerful is Inkscape and GIMP, GIMP. And GIMP does everything Photoshop does, but it's free and
I just discovered today that Photoshop has this colorization option in it. You just have to know where to go look for it in the menu.
yeah, I know.
And
How long did that take you to find?
only a couple of minutes. I Googled to go where to go look.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, anyway, was my day today. It was my revelation.
Anyway, that's cool. Thank you for sharing.
I think that'd be interesting, Mark, if you could find some of the old airplanes where you knew what the color was.
Yeah, and then
then-
see what
and
you
then-
get.
See how it does on that.
Well, I know
So-
what color the Palmer's T-Bird was, and there's a black, the Vico had the black and white image all over the place.
Right.
I'll have to get one of those and try it out and see what I get.
Yeah. Well, I'd be interested in seeing, right up your alley there. Go look at the P40 and the PT20 and stuff like that and see what those, to see what Mr. Perot's airplanes look like.
Yeah, well, I've got some pictures of some of those too.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's a lot of detective work that I've done over the years on these, and
Mhm.
I don't know if I could find that picture of Charles. If you guys have something else you want to talk about, I can go look for it. I have
can tell.
Show something here too when you get a chance.
I have one from back in the early '60s that has Perot and Hemstrad on it with their airplanes.
Is that showing?
It is.
That's a permagrit sanding bar.
Right.
And I use it for a number of things, but one of them is for truing up the edge of sheeting. After I trim the edge of the sheeting, you can actually, use a sanding block as a push stick, and you can sand against that permagrit and make a nice, square edge. And that plate that's on there is the stuff that you can buy to replace replacement things. And that's what I cut with a piece of a tin snips into a piece that the same width as a hinge and about maybe 2 inches long, that I can work in and out and sand the hinge slots open. So that gives you an idea what permagrit looks like,
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I got the pictures now. If I can share again.
And by the way, guys, Brent Williams says, howdy, guys. Howdy, Brent. Thanks for
There you
coming
go.
in.
Charlie and Dave.
That's a good picture of Dave.
This was a really poor picture that I got from somebody. And I went into Photoshop and I spent a lot of time enhancing it and cleaning it up. But there's the two of them back in the good old days with their airplanes.
Yeah. I remember Dave from that era, and he was a heck of a flyer.
I don't know what this airplane is in front here. That's
A big
something
team
I've seen.
racer of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These two are obvious.
Yeah. Dave had a lot of airplanes after that, including some tuned pipe, but I never saw him fly anything any better than he flew that airplane.
Mm-hmm.
He was dangerous for that airplane.
Guys, I'll be right back. I gotta let my dog out.
All righty. Now, what are those two
I
airplanes?
gotta go too. I'll see you later.
Hey, thanks, Sparky, for coming in.
Okay.
Wow, that's pretty.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Charles.
Yeah, Carl.
That Renegade airplane that you're talking about was kitted by Vico.
Mm-hmm.
Is if that rings a bell to anybody.
The little plane?
Yeah, the one that you were showing the paint scheme on it.
The Renegade.
I-
The Renegade, yeah.
yeah, it was kitted by Vico.
Do you know who built the orange one that I had the picture of?
Thank you, Carl.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I've seen that picture someplace else. Might take a peek. Look up Renegade or do a search on Renegades in the combat part of the forum. You might get lucky there.
I don't know if this is gonna show up or not.
Let me make a big hang on.
Oh, there it
Yeah,
goes.
He's got it. He's got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
That looks
Yeah, I'm
like the
trying
same
to get
picture.
that.
Dennis, I think you're right too. I think that one is probably hanging in the Mears Combat Museum.
Yeah. yeah.
Pretty
Thank
sure
you,
I've
Carl.
seen one of them framed in their museum.
Now, what I'm wondering is that the original, or does somebody have information about what the original was that you could corroborate?
Well, that was the original.
Well, if it was in the Mayor's Museum, of course, it wasn't the original. And so, but like you say, it still could have been, based on inside information.
Yeah,
knew
somebody
the
may
original.
have talked to
That's
somebody.
that's
or
what
known
I'm
somebody.
saying. They're
Yeah.
Andy and Bob's dad, James, was a prolific combat flyer forever. And if anybody would know, they would know
Mhm.
who built the first one and what color it was.
Yeah, I guess I always imagined it was probably red or, something like that because of Vico colors, but that orange makes more sense, frankly, when you see it. Red would have been too dark, but yeah, it's even in the black and white pictures, I always knew that the Renegade was done with those gold decals that everybody used to
Yeah.
sell. The big gold decals with the black outline. So
Yeah.
Wes still uses those. He actually found a source. He's got somebody making him gold decals with black outlines. So,
Wow.
Jim's
Only way.
struggling with that right now. Hey, Jim.
I
Yeah,
tell
that's
you
right.
what, I just got my set. They came today.
Oh, nice.
right.
No,
Are you satisfied with them?
I haven't even opened the envelope, but he sent me a sample before we went and made the real thing, and I was very pleased with the sample.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who did them for you?
His name is Fusion. I found them on the internet. Once I prove them out, and I'm
Okay.
really can stand behind it, I'll publicize somewhere on Stunthangar, where I got
Sounds
them
good.
and so forth.
There are a
And
lot of the
they weren't cheap
originals.
either.
There are a lot of the originals that are on eBay.
Yeah,
If
the
you
problem
want-
is I have
I wouldn't
some
use those, but you could use them as a pattern to get a decal made.
right. I have a whole complete set of original Duros.
Okay.
They're so old they don't work. You can't
Right.
use them.
I have a
Yeah, I
question
got
for you,
some of
Jim.
those.
I was just curious.
Go ahead.
I was curious, have you tried anything else with your titanium wire? I know we talked about curving them in just a little bit.
The titanium wire I have is annealed 6/4 titanium, and that's going to do what we saw it do.
Okay.
There's another modeler in the East Coast who is able to make titanium gear. He's used them before successfully. It's a difficult process, and he's a friend of mine. He made me a set. They're in the mail right now. So.
Oh, nice.
Rick Huff.
Yeah. So stay tuned.
Very cool. And what do you got there, Mark? I see a Ted Fancher handle by Brent Williams.
Yes, it was nice to deal with Brett. He was easy to work with, and I got these things quickly. I got 2 handle kits.
Nice.
Okay. And they come with a nice hardware package. You can see let's see if you can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, very nice stuff. I picked up I picked up a set at the Las Vegas Stunt Challenge. I couldn't beat the shipping, so.
Yeah, well, and I also bought, because he had them on sale, for these clips.
Oh, you
so
actually
very
love it.
nice.
Okay, they're varying lengths, so you can use them with fixed, a hard point handle.
Sure.
Right.
And I think they were, if I remember right, over the holidays were $15, which I thought was a heck of a deal.
Yeah.
Cheaper than kitty clip.
Handles and all the clips were $75 and a few dollars for shipping. It was nicely done, and I kind of like finishing them myself, so everyone has their own way of finishing a handle. They come in 2 sizes. This is 3.5 inch from here to here.
Right.
It's just about right for me.
Right. Same here. I have big hands, so
yeah. And then he has a 3-inch also. So just a plug for Brent. Great to do business with, and a very nice product, and a little instruction sheet.
Do you see he's selling balsa wood now?
Who?
I'm sorry.
Brent. He's selling balsa wood.
Brent is selling balsa wood now.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you, Brent. Wow, that's great. It's light though, right?
Well, it's as light as he can get, I think.
Yeah.
'Cause I can sell some heavy balsa wood myself.
Oh, I can sell something to make a ball bat out of.
Well,
Thanks for
well,
sharing.
Charles, you know how precious balsa is.
Yes, I know. That's why it's called precious balsa. That's right.
Hey, Mark,
Yes.
you want to let the cat out of the bag on your new design or not? We can.
Go right ahead.
It's up to you. It's your airplane.
No, you tell him about it.
Well, it's just that Mark came up. What was it? Last Friday.
Last Friday.
We spent 32 hours together that day.
We did. It was a full day.
And he bought dinner too.
I did.
Wait, you got Mark to buy dinner?
Well, just for me.
Oh,
he even offered. I didn't even have to bend his arm. But he wanted to restyle an Impact, and I had a board up here, so we spent the day restyling and getting some tooling done. Are you sure you want to show this now? It's up to you.
I do. I think it's.
I'm curious to see what the Marksman look like.
All right, hold on. Is that up?
Pretty cute.
Yeah.
That looks nice.
Yeah.
It
don't look like an Impact.
If you notice, it's got cheek cowls in the top view.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, didn't notice that immediately.
So it's so nice. I'm going to build one too.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, wait a minute, Bob. It's got a fin on it. What are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's going way out on a limb for you, isn't it? But
Dennis, it's mine.
yeah, I know. But he said he was going to build one. So.
Oh, he will.
Yeah.
He will.
That's pretty.
Is this going to be a top loader, side loader, bottom loader? What's it
Bottom loader.
Bottom. And Lynn Burrell's in the house. Thank you, Lynn.
Hey guys.
Hey, Lynn.
Hey.
That's great, Lynn. We lost somebody. You came in, and we're still back to 16.
Who did we lose?
Who left?
Sparky left.
Yeah, Sparky.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if you traded up or not.
Oh, I know. Charles last week, last Friday when you left Len in charge.
Yeah.
And, John was talking about the after party got really, really entertaining and stuff. Well, with Len fell asleep.
Yeah.
So the rest of us were left to behave with no adults in the room. And
Well,
we had a heck of a discussion going on. So
it was a good discussion.
It was.
We talked about so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes the after party actually is better than the live stream sometimes. And I say that on my monologue. I know some people probably think I'm just blowing smoke up their dress, but we've had some interesting times. I'm usually so exhausted from the show, but I do miss sometimes. We had some really good conversation. I know Howard Rush and I and someone else, we had some really good conversations, and it's pretty neat in the after party. You can stay up. I highly recommend it.
Well, it was like
yes,
2:30 when I quit.
What was that, John? And Lynn was talking at the same time. What was that,
Sorry.
John? No,
It was
John's
about 2:30 when we quit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So it'd be 4:30, East Coast.
Hey, Mike Lonke was showing his Christmas lights, and it was probably like 3 o'clock in the morning when he finally got off.
Oh my
goodness.
Yeah, well, Len actually woke up long enough to show us his Christmas lights too, outdoor lights.
So,
Yeah, Mike showed us his outdoor, and I missed the indoor show. I know he was going to do that sometime, but I missed that.
We get pretty far off topic in the weeds in the after party.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
we got talking about music at the end.
Hey, Dennis, I got something for you.
Yes, sir.
Your brother Arch has been posting on the Pampa Facebook page, and I found an interesting photograph that I thought was pretty cool because you see that?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Okay, so right off, I recognize that as being Rouge Park in Detroit because of those two trees that are behind him over his left shoulder.
Exactly. Yep.
Those are right off of he must be standing right on the edge of the circle, is my guess, because that's where that tree is. And when I was a kid in the early 70s, I used to use that little tree to climb up to go onto that big tree. And the little one got cut down sometime in the late 70s, early 80s. But that big tree is still there, and it's about 3 times as big around as it is now. But it's still there. That is the shade tree for the paved circle at the Detroit Strathmore Club.
Very cool. Man, I love that plane.
Yeah, and the Rouge River runs right behind that tree line too. There, the very well polluted by Ford Motor Company Rouge River. It's gnarly.
Yeah. But there are, a couple of things on that even. First off, Rouge Park was literally the floodplain for the Rouge River.
Correct. Yep.
And, really bad springtime floods and everything like that. Also, I understand that over the last several decades, the river has actually been cleaned up substantially, and it's actually not. It's not. It's not a cesspool anymore.
You're correct. There's actually a group called Friends of the Rouge, and they have gone through and cleaned it out and gotten all the cars and oil drums and that circle where Arch is standing. It has deer running through it now. It has turkeys walking around in the field. There's swans over in the pond. There's a lot of Canadian geese, and there's a ton of wildlife in the Detroit Rouge Park that you never would have saw in the 70s and 80s. So
that's it.
But anyway, I thought you'd get a kick out of that picture.
I do. I think
Don Bembrick had an airplane called the Sonic, right?
Well, his was called the Ultrasonic.
Ultrasonic. Okay.
He had the Furies, and he followed those up with something he called Ultrasonic.
Okay, so that wasn't part of that series. That airplane.
Yeah, but that airplane that we were just looking at was painted the same way as Don painted his Furies. That was with the candy apple blue.
Yeah.
It was nominally. I mean, the stuff. It was basically dye, extremely thin, and it had like 20 coats of 20 passes. It would be more accurate. With the gun,
Excuse me 1 second, Dennis. 1 second, sir. Hey, Jim, just give me a call and we can arrange to go flying next Wednesday.
Not Wednesday, but later
Wednesday.
in the week.
Okay, later next week?
Yes.
Not this week. Okay, give me a call.
All right, thanks.
We'll make it
I gotta
happen.
go.
All right, thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Dennis.
Not a problem. But anyhow, that was Don's airplane was absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
Archer's wasn't as good as that, but there was no shame in that. Let's put it that way.
It's a shame the way Bembrick died. He was working on a boat, and he had paint remover or something, and he suffocated.
No, he basically, the way I heard it, he basically had a heart attack. He was just basically cleaning up his boat. He was out there, and he laid on the dock for like an hour. Nobody even, he was there in the local, marina, and nobody paid attention to this guy passed out on the dock. So
they might have thought he was sunbathing or something. Was he dressed, or did he have swim trunks on?
Well, he was working on his boat and stuff, so he was dressed like that. He wouldn't have been dressed like a swimsuit or anything like that, I'm sure. But
he's a nice guy. I got to meet him at the 69 National.
69, yeah.
That's too bad. That is too bad.
He had the Ultrasonic at the 69 Nationals.
He sure did.
Pale green. Which begs the question back to Mark. I'm curious how that software would do something, would do with colors like that pale green, or the Argus or the Cobra with their pale green colors and stuff. And, just how it would handle those. But it does sound promising, colorizing old photos and stuff. But,
yeah, the ones I've seen, they have pictures from World War II in Europe. They look really good. But I don't know what the whole process is to go through it. I'm just learning it.
Yeah, that
Getting
sounds
started.
great though.
I have a comment from Paul Taylor. It says, looks like Big Art kicked butt with that plane.
That was actually art number 2. All right. That wasn't Big Art. That was number 1 son. All right.
Archie was
Arch,
Big
yeah,
Art's
Arch
son.
the second. Yeah, Arch the second.
Okay.
And his nephew is Arch the third, or A3 for short. And so we used to make him wear name tags at the Christmas parties and stuff like that. So
Not to be confused with the St. Louis Arches.
That's right. That's it, like Art Schaefer and right.
Good night,
He was one
guys.
of the St.
Hey,
Louis
good night,
Archers.
Walter. Thanks for coming in.
I'll call you, Bob.
Okay, man.
Walter.
I don't see or speak to you guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Yeah,
Christmas.
same
Merry
here,
Christmas
Walter.
to you, Walter.
So anyhow,
Buds are getting, what'd you say? The puns are getting pretty good. Keep them coming.
Yeah, they are getting pretty good. We have 25 thumbs up. Yeah, thank you
Hey,
very much.
Mark,
Yes, sir.
I sent you some money today.
Well, wonderful. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for that. Plus,
Yeah.
what about you other guys?
You got mine last week, Mark.
No. I was just kidding. Len and I are doing a transaction, and
Yes.
yeah. Thank you, Len.
You're
Hey,
very
speaking of-
welcome.
Speaking of money, you guys, and again, this is if you want to make a donation to help Gary Sinclair with these calendars, that would be much appreciated. Because
Where do we
he
send the
wants
money?
Gary, tell him where to send the money.
Send it to my email address, I guess, through PayPal.
sounds
Or
good.
some
I
people
guess.
prefer your address. Maybe I can put it in our internal chat. Can you do that for me, Gary? Go ahead and type in the chat your physical address.
And your email.
That way, because Gary would like to get these things out before postage goes up next.
We should at least pay the postage, that's for sure.
That's it. Hey, Gary, send me your credit card number. I'll put it right back into your account. How's that sound?
He's old. He ain't that old.
Yeah.
And
I'm
if
just
you
trying
like
to-
that, I know a Nigerian who's trying to put some money.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, he's the one who's funding it. So,
Oh, okay.
all right.
Hey,
Hey, can
Charles.
I do a quick share here? Or
Yeah. And hang on a second. Go ahead, Dennis, and I'll hang on, Mark. Ooh, look at that.
That's pretty.
Oh,
Wow.
Ooh,
What
I
is
just
that?
love big canopies on stunt ships.
Where's this airplane?
he specially molded that, and I think he was trying to emulate. Again, this is the era of the Navy Nats and everything like that, and that's very much emulating the
Fury.
Cutlass and stuff like
Yeah,
that. The
it looks a
basic
lot like a
design-
Cutlass. What
yeah,
is that?
the basic airplane was inspired by the FJ Fury series.
Yeah.
But that was 39 points, by the way, on a 40-point scale,
Wow.
Wow.
which would be the same as getting a 21 today, I think.
What
That
kind of
was his-
finish was that?
It
Is
was
that
dope, but that was that 30 coat, that 30 coat or 20 coat candy apple finish. And look at it in the picture, it just looks metallic blue. To see it out in the sunshine, the thing used to just glow. It was just
Well, look at the
absolutely
fences
stunning.
on the wing.
That's it. That's it. I understand that there's other people interested in trying stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Neat.
Look at the
We
what
thought
you
we were
said?
doing something new. Look at that.
What was
That's
that?
way back.
Was that
69. Good
Wogas
gracious.
Fury you showed?
Some people even have adjustable ones, Dennis.
That's it. That's even better. All right. And this is Don's last Fury, the Fury 3. Oops. That's another picture of Arch's airplanes. Those gold patches on the top of the wing that on the picture Mike showed you, he actually had some trouble, had to repair the landing gear, and he had to go in through the top of the wing to get it. And the gold patches happened as a result of that. So much younger, July 67. Then later on, he
Wow, look at
actually
that.
reverted. He took the same airplane, refinished it completely, and there you go.
Wow.
That's pretty.
Another picture. This is Don Bambrick with his Aquila design 65 Nats. 65. Yeah, 65. I believe we got Mr. Gieske and Rick Bockel, and then his dad, Fred, was just out of the frame here. Osiris is an interesting airplane. About 44 ounces, 650 squares with a Fox 35.
Oh, wow.
Why?
It's a flying kite.
Because that's how you did it. That's why, you know.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
Right,
look at
that's
that.
Arch again. This is with Big Art's Canberra design. This is same family of airplanes as his blue airplane, but lost that one at the Canadian National Exposition in Toronto when the flap horn broke. So
Oh, man.
the wire part broke. The wire broke. All right. Oh
Go on.
my.
Don Cosmillo,
That's it.
1969 nets. 65 nets, wasn't it? Or was that 69?
I'm not I
I think it was
had to be
69. 65 she flew
Yeah.
a Noble. That's 69.
Yeah, yeah.
What plane is that she's holding?
What's that?
What plane is she holding?
It's original that they built a number of airplanes. They were foam wing airplanes, very heavy. It's her father was an auto body guy, and he used acrylic lacquer, many coats. They're very heavy, but she flew pretty well actually.
Wasn't this the same airplane that oh crap. The guy, the senior who won the
Barry Simmons?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's
It
not
looks
the
like
same
it, but
airplane.
it's not the same airplane.
Okay.
Oh, look at that young man.
Look who that is.
Yeah, that's not the picture I'd planned on showing, but it'll do. I
You
guess.
can leave that one up all day if you want. I love that airplane.
I do too.
I do 3.
Now, who's this?
That's Big Art.
Oh, well, you know, when I met Art, he was a lot older.
Eugene.
He was a wee bit more mature than that. That was like 1970. And that was his D-Witine D520. Keith actually has an old timer. His Madman is painted with the scheme that I think he got from the D-Witine profile book or something like that.
Put that back up for just a second.
And that's it.
Put what back up?
Gary's address was there for just a second.
Oh, just go to click on the chat.
Yeah,
Click on
chat.
the,
Oh, okay.
click on the
Well,
chat.
look
and
at
you'll
that.
see it. So, by the way, everybody, Gary
What was
Sinclair
that one?
provided his address and his email. Just click on the chat, and you'll be
Yeah.
able to see it.
What was that last one?
Big Art.
Yeah, it's my dad again. 68 Nats. Yeah, he was a competitor before he ran the finals, but at any rate, that was his first airplane he built with the tandem landing gear that you can't see there, but
Oh, you can see it.
You can see it.
I make it
well,
out.
you can
I
see the
it.
nose wheel, but the main wheel would have been about right here under the wing, and it had
And
wings
those were
without
those.
rudders.
Those had 2 wheels each as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they were sprung. They had a built-in spring.
Wow.
It was his Sterling Spitfire from about 1960. My brother Dave, who we lost in February, that was his last nationals for stunt. He flew the modified chief and senior. All right. Well, that I went well beyond the. I really wanted to show just those blue airplanes way back.
Oh, there's Keith's little Mike Racer.
That's it.
I flew that. That was a good flying airplane.
Oh, it's a
I've
beautiful
always liked
airplane
that thing
too.
in pictures. I don't know what it really looked like, but I've always loved the pictures of it.
It looked even better in real life because the fuselage had to be seen to be appreciated. It was just, basic,
I bet
basic
so.
round section with with the canopy blister on it. And of course the cheek calls. There was so much going on. You could look at it and it just, you
You
could
want
study the thing forever.
Had an
Look where the stabilizer-
RAF 40 engine in it.
Oh
one
my
and
goodness.
only.
Look
It
at
was
the
only
stab on the thing.
540.
though. Look where the stab is.
Yeah, I see it.
You want to see it?
Still got it?
Sure.
Well,
Got it?
I'll let Denny finish what he's doing.
Oh, all right.
Look at that younger Dennis there.
Yeah, this is, I think I mentioned this before. I showed my daughter this picture and asked if she could recognize that guy. She had no idea who the kid was. So
That's funny.
that's it. Oops.
That's a roughie you got there?
Nah, Dolphin.
Oh, a dolphin.
Actually, West Coasters alert. This is Bob Hartness flew I think that's a Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Yeah.
Dennis Shower design.
Yeah, there we go.
Excuse me.
Oop.
Oh, look at
I
that.
remember that airplane. I remember
do
that one
too.
too.
My sister. All right. Oops. All right, now, oh, this is, are we getting there?
Wow.
I think
That's
this was
impre-
the
that's
same
nice.
session as that picture that Mike showed. I was
Yeah.
out there, it's world famous Rouge Park, and
Those
this
two
is
trees.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
my first original design. Original as in nobler wing and jet fuselage, but okay, that's Fred and Rick Bockel again from 69 Nats, and Fred had graduated to Fox 59s by then, so.
I saw Ricky just recently.
Wow, look at that.
Did you?
Yep, he's living just west of me.
I'm
Golly,
going to
look
have
at
to
that
bump
wing.
you and see if we can reconnect here. I was in contact with him for a long time and then lost.
I got his number.
contact.
Give me a call tomorrow. I'll give it to you.
Sounds great. The I was able to score a set of Osiris plans off him, and that's on the forever list to build. But give you an idea of this picture. My son's number one, number two. Number two son sitting behind me here. He's now 40 years old. So
Wow.
I don't think I was 40 years old when that picture was taken. So
What was that Redmond before this?
I'm sorry.
The twin rudder in the picture before this, the Redmond. Who was that?
Well, that's Rick Bockel and
Ricky
Fred
Bockel.
Bockel.
Oh, okay.
And Rick was flying a ballerina.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
So
That plane you had there with your two sons, that's a pretty airplane. I'd never seen that before.
yeah, and I never competed with it. I we were going to Reno Reno. I thought I needed to take apart airplane so I could fly out there and everything like that. And I was afraid to take apart airplane was going to be heavy. So I made it bigger, and let's just say that a lot of things that seemed like a good idea at the time didn't quite pan out. And
How long was that nose?
that was a 72-inch span. And
72.
and I flew with an OS 35.
How
Whoa.
long was the nose from the leading edge of the wing to the spinner?
Oh, I think it was an 11-inch nose, and it was very long fuselage, but it weighed in the 60s, and that was that kind of sealed the deal, shall we say? Not that it was so heavy for the wing; it was heavy for the motor.
Yeah. If you'd had a 46 in there or a 60.
Yeah. If it,
That's a pretty canopy.
Mm.
Is that tinted or how'd you get that canopy that color?
That was actually my brother's again. That was all Rit dye with I don't know what kind of canopy it was, but he originally built it with the blue canopy, and he got the thing, he damaged the canopy and had to replace it, and he put a red one on it, which I thought looked better.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Beautiful.
you just go out, 89 cents, get a package of Rit dye, throw all your canopies in it and everything like that. Okay, this is the last airplane I built before my Hawker Typhoon, and this is another original design with a nobler wing. And I still got the plan for this. I think I was looking at it the other day. I think it would be a pretty interesting airplane.
You had stamped tip plates on that.
Yeah, of course it did. We all did, Bob. We had arrows here and one on the fin. It was all they were great. If you the launcher had to make sure that he had his, he was holding on by his fingertips, because if his clothes were anywhere near the airplane, it was a goner.
Okay, so those weren't actually area plates. They were like for aesthetics.
Oh, absolutely. It was strictly, they were radar things, whatever.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
I mean, not Bob. I'm sorry, Dennis. I just can't
Yeah.
believe it. But that last picture, the wall pictures on the wall.
Mhm.
Were those done with those little like jewels or beads that you would glue on? That
No,
picture
no,
far
they
right.
were just some kind of plaster thing and everything like that. My mom went in and just painted them. They were just
Okay.
enameled.
Okay, it just reminded me of some pictures we had at our house, but they were like you would glue these jewels or something or stones
Okay.
to make
Okay.
the picture. It reminded me of that. Sorry, it's kind of sentimental.
Hmm. Whatever. Diverse set of detail things. Leroy Gunther's
Leroy
Galaxy.
Gunther, boom, boom.
Yep.
Look at that! Look at that cockpit, man.
Oh yeah, I mean he had 3-wheel covers in there and everything. I mean that was the thing. You put cockpit details in because you got lots of points, back in the 40-point era and stuff like that.
I love that cockpit.
Yeah,
I
it
like
was a
that
very
BMW.
simple.
Yeah.
It was actually a very simple shape. Just basically a flat low flat rudder and everything like that. Simple straight line top and bottom of the fuselage, and aesthetically it should have it presented well because of that. Just a simple stripe on the fuselage to help it make it look nice and pointy going through maneuvers and stuff.
Like a
And
gray,
he
no
was a heck of a
tracks.
builder, a heck of a finisher. Another one of his. Believe it or not, this started off as a no by 3. So,
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that too.
yeah, the wing and the tail are no by 3, and then he put on a different fin, put on a different canopy arrangement, different cowl. United 7 was supposed to say he had stole parts of 7 different airplanes to make that. All right,
Oh,
that's what it
okay.
amounted to. I cannot for the life of me remember what the 7 were, but there he is.
That's
Ron
an interesting
Adams.
rudder. It's a very interesting rudder.
Mhm.
Adams. That's the guy that had the Mariah, right? Ron Adams?
Yeah, not Mariah. The Wind Spirit. Come on now. It's gonna go.
Well,
I
that
got the doggone
fuselage
thing
is
here.
almost nothing.
850
Wing.
square inches. Good gracious.
Yeah,
Behind the wing, that fuselage is really small.
it is. That's a bit of a photo thing there too. It was a he had magnesium pipes going through the fuselage. He had the engine exhaust routed into one. No muffler on it, but it sounded like an early muffler. The thing sounded like the engine was running in a 55-gallon drum or something like that.
Yeah.
And they had the other tube was just an air outlet for the cowl.
A Marut. I think the name
Marut.
was
Thank
it
you.
Marut?
Hey, Joe Adamusco.
There we go.
Man, I haven't
Dennis?
seen him.
Was the name of that airplane that one that I was thinking of, the Marut?
Yes, definitely.
Right.
Jerry Worth. He's in the 1968 video that it was posted here a while back. He's in pretty prominently, but this actually predates that. So this
Very
is
nice.
at the Buffalo, New York Invitational that Jim Kostecki and Dave Gerke used to host. And this airplane met its demise. He had a 3-blade Tornado nylon prop, and he was trying to get a really, really tight fit between the spinner and the prop and everything like that. He actually shaved the prop just a little bit so the spinner would kind of notch into it. What could possibly go wrong, right?
Yeah.
So he threw a blade on the prop, got the airplane, tried to land it, immediately. It was down in a half a lap, and every single part of the airplane had been destroyed in that amount of time.
Damn.
From the engine vibration.
Picture.
Look
There
at
we
that.
go. Same pictures in the background. Jim
Yeah.
Kostecki and the America. And that's Jim's son there.
That is a
pretty
pretty
thing.
airplane. That is so pretty.
Well, that's what happens when you have an artist, designing the paint schemes. They just looked right. So
Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Formula S, and this was his. It was called American Eagle too, I think. but it wasn't the same as Gerke's
And
All
Formula
American
S
Eagle.
took second at the 68 nats.
Right, right.
Well, it has a lot in common with the All-American Eagle, except it doesn't have the anhedral in the tail.
Yeah, I think he had tried a few things different on this. He had gone to a regular D-tube wing and stuff like that were not part of his regular formula. And I understand that airplane is still hanging in St. Louis.
Schaefer's hobby shop.
Yep.
Wow.
One thing about that airplane, the trim on it, that looks like it's white. I think it's cream, isn't it, Dennis?
I'm not sure. I think it was white, but I think he had epoxy coated it.
Oh,
I think
well,
that's
turned
what
out-
it.
It
I'm not-
looks white in all the pictures, but Whiteley built that thing and he copied the paint scheme and he put cream on it. And actually, the cream looks good, better
I
than the
bet it
white.
did, and you know, it would have had more character to it. White just tends to be so pasty if you don't handle it right, you don't do the right things around it. But oh well.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Let's see Gunther's Spitfire again. There it is.
Yep.
Wow.
Kessler's Best Finish Award. That was the airplane was designed by Jerry Worth, and he originally built it as basically Jerry built open rib wings. It wasn't an I-beam, but it looked like it. All right. And Gunny took and built the wing, and then he just sheeted right over it. He didn't bother thinning the ribs or anything like that. So his is an eighth of an
You
inch
have-
thicker than that.
Dennis, do you have an idea what year that was? I think I know.
I think it's 1970. Yes.
Yeah.
That
Pretty sure
looks
it was
like the
70.
airplane.
And your dad had the Divatine there that year too, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Because I remember seeing that airplane when he opened up the trailer and saw that thing in there, it just glowed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really a stunning, beautiful airplane. And
I think that's the one your dad had at VSC one year. It and another
he probably did.
semi-scale like it, and showed it out by the pool at the hotel. They were gorgeous, even so many years later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, Gunny liked building, and he didn't fly an awful lot, so the airplanes really didn't get a lot of wear and tear. So
It sure looked good though. Wow.
yeah. Yeah, it was Arch's first design. He was building a Stuka stunt, and then he saw the article, Gialdini's article on the Olympic. He wrote Bob a couple of letters, and Bob immediately responded and stuff, making him a hero for life. Still is in my mind. Right up. I always thought that was really classy of him, writing a letter, writing back to a 14-year-old kid about his airplane. So the Stuka stunt got changed into a Limpet. All right.
Nice.
Guess what that
Nice.
was influenced by? So
Very neat. Yeah.
oh,
Hey,
look at
there's
that.
Dennis.
There's that handsome dude again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my copy of Arch's airplane. Okay.
Oh, look at that.
That was Dad's Mox Nah. Try and copy it.
Was that 69 nats?
It would have been, yes.
I got pictures of that.
Ah, there we got the landing gear.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
It was a hard airplane to take pictures of because he had he had put pearlescence in all the colors, and the camera didn't like what it did. All right. They were just catching light and going off in about 6 different directions all the time. He always had a hard time doing that, getting a decent picture of it.
Oh, there's a nice picture.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
picture.
A lot of them were doctored after the fact and stuff like that.
That is nice.
Yeah, the airplane had some. It was again, it was interesting to look at, but the shape of it, the fuselage was kind of a banana shaped and everything like that.
Yeah,
but
I noticed that.
It did not present the same on insides and outsides.
I see he had a ratio between his flaps and elevators. They weren't 1-to-1. They were very little flap to a lot more elevator.
That's it. That's when he used to do it. I think, Mark, I'm going to try to email you this picture plus the prior pictures with these airplanes in color and just see what your software thinks of it.
Okay.
Very
And
neat.
in fact, I think Dad's wearing that same jumpsuit, so you might see that. Oh my, there I am taking a break. There's the two airplanes together again, but
Nice.
very recent picture. Bob McDonald with one of the P-47s. See one of the local guys,
Shark.
Mark Ramsey with a shark. There's the Maroot.
There's the Maroot. Yep.
How
That thing
much-
was heavy.
That thing was heavy, wasn't it?
It was like
80
108 ounces or something like that.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
You wouldn't want to arm wrestle
It
with
flew
him.
like crazy. All right. Had a freaking Vico 45, might have been a 50, but you know, and it really flew well. Oops.
Wow. Look at this.
Another nude
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah, but then yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
Mythbuster.
Yeah, that's the Mythbuster. My first on purpose electric airplane, or built from the ground up. Okay.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that.
here we go. Look at that. Nova.
Nova,
four.
Nova 4, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a 4. That's my favorite of the Nova series.
Yeah, it was totally unrelated to the others. I really don't know why he even named it Novi, except it was his. It was you could name it anything.
I
you
asked-
wanted, but it was totally.
I asked
different.
Gerke at the time if he liked his elliptical winged airplane better than the straight winged ones, and he said the straight winged ones flew better.
Mhm. Okay.
Oh, I would have thought the elliptical would have flown better.
And I
always been told that-
remember talking to Marvin Denny. He built the Novi 3, the All-American Eagle, and the Novi 4. He said he liked the 4 the best.
Yeah.
Which surprised me.
You
With
ever
a
see a
Fox
picture of
35
the?
in it.
You ever see a picture of the Novi 2?
There aren't any.
I have one.
You have one?
I
would
certainly do. When
definitely
you're
like
done
to
here,
see that.
I'll put it up.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I don't think I got much else to add to that.
See if I can find.
discussion
First
there.
off, I wanted to show another one here. You were talking about wing fences. If you notice on the leading edge of that, it has receptacles for adjustable wing fences. You can
Oh,
change
look at
them.
that. That is beautiful.
What do you adjust on them, Bob?
We can adjust the size or the shape or the depth over the wing, or you can, there's a number of different little applications
that's
Pete
pretty.
Hoppus wants me to try on this. So
Okay, okay, when you talk about size and shape and stuff, they're removable, replaceable kind of
yeah,
thing.
these little
There we go.
receptacles,
Okay.
you can bolt them in and then take them back out.
That's
So-
pretty.
And is this other one showing or not? Oh, here you go. This is the original Caprice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's the original Caprice. Let me see if I can find that picture of the Novi 2.
I have a
Definitely
question.
like to see that.
I know
Some
I
people
have.
say, as a rule of thumb, they like to see the axle at the leading edge. And it looks like that wheel is way beyond the
Mhm.
leading edge. And how do those things land?
The
With
what
those
now?
wheels? I've heard the rule of thumb is to have the axle right at, when you look over the wing, you look straight over the leading edge, you want to see the axle right there in line with the leading edge of the wing.
Well, it should be about 3 degrees forward of the center of gravity.
Mhm.
Let me see. Hold on a second.
Hey, Bob Gord, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he was
Guys-
just remarking, Bob, that on the Caprice, it looked like the wheels were pretty well forward of that.
That was
That's all.
grass gear. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I got a color picture of it, and I got a couple of black and white pictures of it. So let's see. Hold on a second. I'm going to show you the black and white picture of Dave holding it. All right. Share screen. There it is.
Holy mackerel.
Look at
How's that for an obscure picture, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's holding
Very
his
neat.
arm over the wingtip because it was damaged.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that
Yeah,
weird?
that was okay.
See if I can put a color picture of it up. Just a second here.
Or you just colorize that one.
Yeah. Hey, send it to Mark. So
I hear a
Show 'em.
TV in the background. Can someone mute their mic?
Is that showing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that black and green or blue?
Is that showing?
Yeah, it's showing.
That's
So by
Berkey's,
one and Jim Sohavy's light blue gypsy that
Right.
nobody ever remembers, but that's the one I'm trying to duplicate. So
and
there we go.
there's the Mark III. He said that was the best flying one of the bunch. And Billy Warwich said that too. He flew it. That was one heck of a good flying airplane.
I was certainly my favorite.
See what
So
else we got?
Wow. Is that story true on this All-American Eagle that he had to sell it because his wife shopped too much and he needed the extra money to get home?
I don't know if that's true or not. If Dave.
I've never heard that one, but
Tom Lay had it.
I took these at the 69 Nats.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the No Way series was a pretty good airplane.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know my All-American Eagle is one of my best flying airplanes until the flap horn came loose.
Is that showing now?
We're looking at your folders.
Yeah, folders.
Okay. Well, is there anything here you guys want to see? I can open them.
Go back up to the Europa. I haven't seen that for a while.
That was at the 91 Nationals.
And that was your boys' plane, right?
God.
That's the 60 shoestrike right behind it there. And Bobby McDonald's airplane, I think that purple one behind him there.
Yeah.
And let's see if I can close that. What else we got? We got him with Gieske.
Oh, wow. That's you in the background too there, right, Bob?
No, that's Bob Gieske.
Oh, Bob Gieske standing?
Mm-hmm. That's the only yellow Nobler that he ever had. And it had a Tiger 34 in it.
Huh.
See what else we got here. Here's Billy and Robbie together at Cleveland.
Wow. Can you make that big? I'd like to see that plane. That's a pretty plane, that Europa.
Yeah, he won 4 nationals with those. He had 2 of them, and he won 2 with one of them and 2 with the other. And he alternated. The yellow one, then this one, then the yellow one, then this one. So 4 in a row.
Nice. I like that paint job.
That reminds me of Billy's paint job, though.
That's 3 generation right there with my dad.
Oh, I remember your dad. Yeah.
This is the Walker Trophy fly off that year. Or the 3 winners, the Todd Lee and Paul and Robbie.
Well, that was Todd Lee's Mustang with a broken wing kind of thing. Would he have his
picture? It's a color picture of that one.
Well, that's pretty.
That's a good airplane. Had a HP 40 with a Ron Peters ABC piston and liner in it, and one of our own tuned pipes. That's a good airplane. Won a lot of contests with that airplane.
Yeah. It's funny we don't see that airplane around anymore. You know? Were there plans ever available for it?
Yeah, it was published in Flying Models. I don't know how that happened.
That's probably the reason why flying models, it's hard to figure out who's got the plan. Model Aviation has them.
Ronnie Peters and I basically learned how to fly stunt at exactly the same time.
Wow.
Back in 1980, 81.
There's another picture out on the line there. We had a little team thing going. My lexicon was in the foreground, in the background there. Same paint scheme.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. Don Bedbrook. Let's see what we got it done. Here he is. That's the ultrasonic.
Yeah. I'll see if I can dig up some more of his pictures and send them to you here.
That is pretty.
Yeah, that was the 69 National.
You had a folder there of Dave Reese. Do you have any pictures there?
Oh yeah, sure. Matter of fact, I was talking to Tom Holman this afternoon. If you know who he is, he's a very famous scale free flight guy. And we were talking about Dave Reese. I got a bunch of stuff. What do you want to see? The F5?
Any of them?
Oh,
that's interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
Now, if you got a minute, I can
those
tell
go
you.
full screen?
I'll tell you a story about that airplane. I mean,
can you do that full screen?
Full screen, yeah.
I have another picture of the cockpit detail of that airplane. Let's see if I can find that.
Suddenly, it's just to the left of the one you got highlighted.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't think you got the glare on the one up above.
I'm sure Keith and Dennis knows a lot about Dave Reese. In case those of you who don't, he started flying stunt and he built the most exquisite airplanes, but he wasn't a phenomenal pilot, unfortunately. He and Freddie Miles drove down to the 75 Nationals. This is where these pictures were taken in 1975 at Lake Charles, and Freddie wanted to go flying right away in practice, and Dave was tired, and he let Freddie talk him into flying, and he crashed it on the first flight. And he was so despondent, he went walking off down the runway. There was like a B-47 tie-down pad there, and he went walking down, and we didn't see him all day long. We were worried about him. And when he got back, and later in the afternoon, we said, "Are you okay?" He said, "Yeah, I'm fine." He says, "I went down to the end of the runway. I saw this cool event called Peanut Scale." And he quit flying stunt and got into scale, and he became the FAC Grand National Champion and the AMA champion in free flight scale many, many, many years. So
Wow.
if it wasn't for crashing this airplane, he wouldn't have become that famous free flight flyer.
Wow.
I don't mean to disparage Dave. He was really such a nice guy. He built beautiful airplanes. But my opinion was watching him fly, he was scared of the ground. He couldn't.
Oh, he was very scared of the ground. I used to test fly his airplanes, and they flew exquisitely well, but he would aim the airplane. Like you said, he would look at the ground, would look at the airplane, look at the ground. He didn't fly it, he aimed it. This is another one of his.
Yeah, this one.
The Dazzler.
The Dazzle, yeah. And on the bottom, he had multicolor paint scheme, but they were done in blues instead of this off red thing.
And then this is another one. This was taken at Carson's Publications parking lot. That's the Talon.
Yeah.
And he did a whole article on the cockpit of that thing, didn't he?
I test flew that airplane. It was a great airplane. Yeah, he did a number of articles on how to do cockpit detailing out of sheet plastic that you get from model training things and everything. He's an amazing modeler. Just an amazing modeler.
Got a lot of these construction articles of all the scale airplanes that he had published. He was prolific as scale as he was with the stunt ships.
Really was. What else we have here you want to see? We got Dave Reynolds, Dean Kaufman, Dennis Adamson.
Nah.
I have that same photo you have.
Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna have to go out and destroy all the copies of it. Dick Sarpolis. I know Dick wasn't a big stunt flyer, but he was just so prolific in everything he built. I would have been interested in that. Okay.
Now, who is this?
That's Don Still, the
Don
guy who
Still.
designed the Stuka stunt.
Very nice.
Can you look at the top left one there?
Yeah, hold on.
That looks like he had some of the others. other airplanes there?
This is the victories, I think you're talking about.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
those are all his victories.
All right, the one
Wow.
right below it is the World Championships airplane then, right?
Yeah, the one where he didn't use change the paint scheme.
Yeah, well, one
Yeah.
of them, he kind of restyled it, and everything too.
Yeah,
but-
they didn't want the swastikas on it, so they painted one without the swastikas.
Yeah, yeah. No crosses, no swastikas.
And he's still alive.
Yes.
Is he?
Yes, he is. Them at
The,
World Championships. Bob
yeah.
Palmer and Louis Grundal and Don Still.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You've heard of the Grandal Nobler, you know.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
I have.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Color picture of him in his hobby shop. He's got a hobby shop in Beaumont, Texas.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool stuff.
Very, very cool.
Mhm.
So,
Some of Frank McMillan's stuff.
so
Frank
which
McMillan?
world championship was it? Jill,
Let's see,
didn't you
here's-
tell me about?
Here's Frank's twin.
Okay,
That's pretty.
Don Still's World Championships, that would have been 1960. That was the first year that the FAI went to basically the format that they they adopted the AMA pattern that year.
Wow.
Here's on the first.
That is a pretty plane. What is that?
It's a Cadrone twin.
Wow, beautiful.
It's kind of a semi-scale Cadrone, obviously, but yeah.
Can you make it full page? 'Cause all I can see is half of it, then our pictures cover the other half.
That better?
Well, no, it's still, I've got your page you're looking at, and then a third of the page over here is that picture, but then it's got our pictures covering up half of it.
Or you
I
can
see
move
from
those
the-
pictures. You can move those
I don't see
pictures
the
over.
nose. I don't see any of the nose at all on
Hey,
that
Phil,
one.
you can move those pictures of us off to the side.
Well, I'm a darn. Okay, I'll put them over here. I didn't know I could do that. Thank you. I like that.
Got
See
a
what else
long nose on it,
Boy, it did.
and it's short in the cells.
There's a Caprice.
A Caprice.
Yeah, Frank built a Caprice.
I think I remember him having that at VSC one year.
He did. He gave that to Gaylord Elling, I think.
Yeah.
The
Show
guy
the top of the
desi-
twin again, please. Oh, that's pretty. I remember that one too, but show the twin again, please, the top of it.
Okay.
That
Oh
is
my
beautiful.
gosh, that's pretty. Got a long nose.
Frank is one of those that really good builder, really good flyer, and one of the best flyers that's never won the Nats.
Yeah, he is.
He took second one year.
Yeah, that's close as we ever got.
Oh, I see you
Bob,
got the Frisky Pete.
I have a request from Paul Taylor in the chat box. If you'd show some of Billy's planes.
Sure. This is the airplane he flew at the 69 Nationals in this configuration. This is the original USA one. And then he saw Jerry Worth's Apteryx, and he liked the styling of that so much. He went home and rebuilt and refinished this airplane and flew it this same year and made the team, and then won the world championships with it the next year in 70. And this is that exact airplane in its first livery.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Let me make that a little bigger. There you go. Now, what you don't see here is this thing had a waffle paint job, if you know what that is. Let me see if I have a picture of it through the door, car door, where you can
Waffle,
see
waffle paint job. What is a waffle paint job?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, but maybe I can get, I know I have a picture of it here someplace.
I saw that.
There's another picture of it there.
Get rid of the bug, but I can't get rid of the cough.
Yeah,
That's
see if I
pretty.
can find that other shot. Tell me which ones you want to see, you know. This is in Kiev.
Wow.
In
Look at that.
96, I believe it was. That's Paul and Billy and I.
What are you doing there? Just burping the engine? Because
Yeah, just burping it. Let's see. This is right after he won his third world championships. And it's Les
Yeah, I was
McDonald
there
on
for
the
that.
far right, me, Randy, Billy, Bob
Les
McDonald,
McDonald.
my son, Robbie.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, the third world championships. That's us in Lubbock in '94.
That's the windiest place I ever been in my life.
It was pretty windy. See if I can find that other picture I'm thinking of here. Yeah, here it is. Take a look at the paint job on this thing.
Yeah, nice little shine on it.
Well, if you look real close, it's got like a waffling.
Bob, can you blow up that picture and display it full screen? All I'm looking at is basically the little thumbnail here. So
I have it full screen here now.
We don't.
huh.
You
Okay.
don't. All right,
No.
hold on. Let me see what
You
I
got
can
all
do.
your little ones and a little bit bigger one on the right.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can. I'm not sure how to do that.
Just double click on what you
Double
got
click
right
on
there.
one and see
Yeah,
that
to
does
see
it.
what it does.
Double click on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
the
do
best I can
anything.
do is right there.
All right.
Hmm.
It'll have to be. It's hard to see much detail, that's all.
Sorry, I'm not real good at
That's
this.
okay. We'll survive.
Here's London.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, look at that.
Are you getting
The
that one
Vulcan.
full screen?
Yeah,
Vulcan, no.
no, not full screen, but kind of like a preview or a thumbnail.
Is that Phil Granderson up front?
It
Yeah, it's
sure
Phil,
is.
Phil Granderson. Yep. And
I'll be darned. All right.
Bob Hazel and forgot the other guy's name. He passed
And all
on.
the Vulcans. Good gracious.
That's not showing very big.
No, not
only-
really big.
only
It's,
so
Let
big.
me see what let me try something different here. Hold on a second.
Is that Walt Mingus? No.
No. I'm not sure where I am here. I gotta I don't know where I'm. I don't know where I am here, so somehow I lost
Look
my
right there. If you
oh,
and right on the side of your big one there, can you put the cursor there and then move that, slide that over, open it up a bigger?
this is Jim Tickey and Bill. And that was that full screen?
Nope.
no, no,
Yes or no?
no.
No,
I
Yeah,
got
when
it
it,
full
when it should be
screen.
full screen, we won't see the other ones. We'll just see just that by itself.
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second. I gotta get back to
I think you might be sharing your
Desktop or something.
folder
all right,
screen.
let
not-
me just go in and find that and then do it the other way here. I think I can do this now.
Yeah.
Um, hold on. That didn't help, right?
Well, you're not
I don't-
sharing it all
you're
now.
not sharing it
okay,
all.
then this might actually work. Give me a second here.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, that's it.
Now we are big.
Now we can see.
That's Jim Tickey. And I was holding that airplane. He put an Aero Tiger in it halfway through the contest at BSC. And he didn't, for some reason, he didn't get the prop things tight and it backfired on him and went into a shaft run and destroyed the airplane.
Oh,
wow, man.
Couldn't get it to shut off. And it did a shaft run and just vibrated the airplane to pieces.
Oh, how terrible.
And that was one of the most magnificent airplanes you've ever seen in your whole life. He was an amazing builder.
Yes, he
That
was.
is absolutely beautiful. That is, those colors are just striking.
Yeah, and the pictures do not do this airplane justice, or either one of them, but you know, that's Billy's 62 Aries.
Just
All right.
curious on Billy's airplane, was he trying to duplicate it the way it was in 62 or was that a new airplane or, all new?
I don't know. I don't know what the scheme he had on it. No. I got a good picture here that this is my favorite picture. Right? Hold on a second. Let me see if I get this up here. That's Billy and Bear at the 1976 Nationals after they just found out that I had won it.
A head scratcher for sure.
Is that your white plane in front of?
No, that's Billy Eibers, the Rookie. It was called the Rookie, very similar to the Genesis. That was Billy's Paraquet that took second at the Worlds that year in Utrecht, Holland, I guess it was. And that had an HP 40 in it as well. A little smaller than an Aries, actually. You know, it was a really tiny little airplane.
Huh.
Oh, that's funny. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I like that. I love
You
that
gotta
picture.
frame that.
I bet you do.
I want to show you that picture again now that I had to do this. Hold on a second. Now I can show you this waffling shot.
Wow.
Can you see the waffling?
I don't know where to look.
Look on the white between the ribs. It's like a gray.
Oh,
patch.
I see it.
Look at the shiny. It looks like it's got little pixelations in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost looks pixelated.
He did it with an overlay of like lace and then sprayed it and then pulled the lace off.
I see. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. It really was.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. Cool stuff. Anyway.
And there was a time where they all had that lace on them, or a lot of them did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like
Yeah,
Jim
but there was a lot of
Hopkins' lace. That came out really nice.
that was
Nice
really
Predator.
pretty.
Yeah.
But there were several years where you look at the airplanes and you just couldn't see all the ink work they had on them, and now you don't see very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, guys, let me just end the live stream. Not that we have to go other shows when they're long. Some people don't want to watch a really long show, so I try to keep them around 2.25 hours. So, anyways, thanks everybody for coming in. Thanks for watching the show. If you're watching this as a replay, come back and watch us live next. Today's
Friday.
Monday. Come back Friday, and we start 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And come out and watch us live, and maybe